Dear students, so let us now talk about Porter's five forces model. So why is it called Porter's five forces model? Because it's got five factors: bargaining power of customer, bargaining power of supplier, threats of new entrants, competition, and finally substitute products. So the first one is called bargaining power of customers. So what is the meaning of this word, bargaining power? Bargaining power means the power to bargain, the power to negotiate. So for example, if I am out in the market, let's say I go in a night market and I like certain stuff from a vendor. And if the price is not fixed, I try and negotiate the price with the vendor, right? He will tell me his price. I will say, no, this is too much. I will offer him my price. And we will start bargaining. He will come a little bit down. I will go a little bit up. And this is called bargaining, right? So who normally wins? Is it the vendor? Is it the customer? It depends on the bargaining power. Whoever has more bargaining power, his terms and conditions will be agreed by the other party. Whoever has a low bargaining power, he will have to give in and accept the terms and conditions of the other party. So in really, it's a game of bargaining power between customer and the supplier or the vendor. So it's kind of a tug of war. So whoever has the higher bargaining power, his terms and conditions and price will be agreed to. So, dear learners, what are the factors which decides the bargaining power? Number one, how critical is that product to the customer? So some products are really critical to a customer, like food, like fuel, maybe a mobile phone. But then some products are not that critical, like watching a cinema or a nice perfume or eating French fries. So if a product is critical to the customer, then customer's bargaining power will be low. I repeat, if the product is critical to the customer, then customer's bargaining power will be low. For example, God forbid, one of my very close relative is in hospital right now and he requires blood urgently. So do you think blood is now a critical requirement for me? Yeah. So I will just run and try to arrange the blood. It's really critical. Time is very important. So do you think I will stand and bargain and negotiate for the blood? No. Whatever price, whatever terms and conditions, wherever I need to sign, whatever I'm expected to do, I will quickly do it. I will not negotiate or try to do anything else. Why? Because the product is really critical for me. So whenever a product is critical to the customer, customer's bargaining power becomes low. The second factor which affects bargaining power is size of customer. Do you think size of customer matters? For example, are you a small single individual customer, or you are a large global multinational customer? Obviously, when we go out as customers and buy products, our volumes does matter. We can get volume discounts, we can exercise power, we can bargain hard if we want large volumes, right? So for example, let's think that we are individual users and we are buying a licensed software for Microsoft. So now Microsoft is a large global supplier selling to billions of people. I am just one customer of Microsoft. So do you think I, as an individual customer, will be able to put pressure on Microsoft? Will I be able to bargain with Microsoft? No, 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 I don't want this price. I want this price. Sorry. He wouldn't even care about it, right? But put it the other way around. Okay. I am a global company. I buy raw material across the world. And if I go to a small vendor, that vendor would really try hard to sell his stuff to me because of large volumes. So another important factor is the size of customer. If the size of customer is large, big, global, then customers' bargaining power will be high. But if the size of customer is small or individual, then the bargaining power of customer will be low. The third thing is whether the product is standard or unique or branded. So it all depends. If the product is very standard, very normal, nothing exclusive or special about that product, then customers' bargaining power will be high. Because since the product is very normal, the seller will not be able to demand any exclusive or premium price. There is nothing to boast about, right? But if the product is unique or branded, then the vendor or the seller will be able to charge a premium, and hence customers' bargaining power is low if the product is unique or branded. For example, take brands like Mercedes-Benz or Ferraris or Rolex. Okay, these are branded products. They are very famous products. They are expensive products. To here, the bargaining power of customers are usually low. But if the product is standard, then customers' bargaining power is high. I can also add one more word here. Customized. What does customized mean? It means that the seller is selling you a customized product. Means it's a product specially made or tailored for your requirements to meet your requirements. This word customized is normally used for softwares. So in case you as a customer, we bought a customized product, then our bargaining power is low because we have high dependency on the seller For any amendments, future amendments, we need to go back to the seller. So wherever there is high dependency on the seller, obviously customer's bargaining power becomes low. The fourth factor we can look at is number of sellers in the market. Okay, how many sellers are selling the same or similar products in the market? So when there are many sellers, customers have a choice. I can go to seller A, and if he is asking a higher price or is being arrogant or he is being difficult, what do? I simply move to seller B, and then seller C, and then seller D, and maybe I try to negotiate with all of them, and whoever gives me the best deal, I buy. This is only possible if there are many sellers available to the customer. So whenever the number of sellers are high, customers' bargaining power will be higher. But whenever there are very few sellers, like a monopoly situation where there is only one supplier, then in that case, customers' bargaining power will be low. And finally, the last factor is called switching cost. Can you guys guess what is the meaning of switching cost? Yeah, almost there. Read it in reverse. The cost of switching. Yeah, what does it mean? How easily as a customer can we switch or change our vendors? If there is no switching cost, that means as a customer, I can switch from supplier A to supplier B and then supplier B to supplier C very easily. Since I can move suppliers very easily, that means if there is no switching cost, customers' bargaining power will be high. But if there is any switching cost present, which means that in case I need to switch my supplier, I will need to pay, let's say, any penalty or any legal complication may arise, then I am kind of bound with my supplier. Even if I don't like his face, I will have to drag on with him until the switching cost period is over. So, in case there is a switching cost present, then customers' bargaining power becomes low. The second factor is called bargaining power of suppliers. So the first one was bargaining power of customers, followed by bargaining power of suppliers. What do you mean by suppliers? Suppliers are vendors from which I buy my raw materials. And who are my customers? So if I'm a corporate organization, I buy raw material from my suppliers, I process them and convert them into finished goods, and then I sell it off to my customers, right? So if I'm a business, I'm dealing with my suppliers and I'm also dealing with my customers. I'm buying raw materials from my suppliers and I'm selling finished goods to my customers. So bargaining power of customers was dealing with points relating to selling of finished goods to my customers. And this one, on the other hand, talks about me buying raw materials from my suppliers or vendors. So in this case, can I say, without confusing you guys, can I say I am a customer and he is my supplier? So in this situation, bargaining power of suppliers, I am wearing the hat of a customer and dealing with my suppliers. So what do I want from my suppliers? High quality in low price. And what does my supplier of raw material expects from me? Low quality, high price. Who will win? Me or my supplier? It all depends on the bargaining power. And can you now guess what are the factors which will affect the bargaining power between me and my suppliers? Well done. I guess exactly these points. But from the other side. Now I am sitting on the other side of the table. So now same points applies here, right? All these points for bargaining power are exactly the same. So I will say, how critical is the raw material to me? What is my size versus the size of my vendor? Whether the raw material is standard or unique or branded or customized. How many number of suppliers are there in the market? Is there any switching costs? So if you guys are able to remember these few points, you can exactly replicate these points under bargaining power of suppliers as well. But just from the opposite side, because you are now wearing the hat of a customer. Right? So for example, let me give you a real exam scenario. It was mentioned that I'm a company and I buy raw materials from large global suppliers. Because I am buying from large global suppliers, that means the size kicks in. I am a small buyer. My supplier is a large global supplier like Microsoft, and hence the bargaining power of supplier will be high because he is big guy.